Hey y'all, welcome back. This is the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. This video, we are talking about Netflix hit show Love is Blind season 6, episodes 4 through 6. I have already reviewed episodes 1 through 3. So after you watch this, go back and watch that if you didn't already watch it. But hopefully you already watched it, right? I know y'all gonna subscribe to this channel. Okay, welcome if you are new here. Help a sister out. It's Black History Month. Okay, we trying to grow this channel. Like the video, share it where you like to share your content, and comment down below, y'all. So we gonna talk about how Jimmy is just messing up. He making all the wrong choices. Okay. Anyway, y'all, let's get into this episode. So we not gonna spend too much longer on these pods because, like I said in the first review, they drug out these pod scenes way too long. I don't care about Chelsea. She over there making the wrong decision. Jimmy making the wrong decision. We're not gonna go through every scene back and forth with them. Let's first talk about. I think we're gonna kind of go couple by couple. The main thing for 4 through 6 was what was going on at the honeymoon. It was a bunch of shenanigans at the honeymoon. And let me just say, Chelsea, you are exhausting, honey. You need to get some therapy or something because you are way too insecure or insecure or however y'all want to say it. Girl, you was exhausting me. So anyway, um now I forgot to mention the last review that I believe Trevor told Chelsea that he loved her. Okay. And she didn't say anything back really. She was like, I'm speechless. That's a good thing right now. I was like, no, girl, that's no. You need to say I love you back, right? And I think when Jimmy said it, no, she said when Jimmy said it, she said that she didn't want to tell that person who that she loved them until they proposed to her. Now Jimmy said it, somewhere in episode 4 or 5. He said it. Anyway, I think it was episode 4. Now also, let's talk real quick just to get Kenneth and Brittany out the way for right now. Then we'll revisit them in the honeymoon. Kenneth and Brittany. So Kenneth did propose to Brittany. I think he proposed on the second or third date. Like it didn't take them no time. I think it was that second date. So anyway, they met each other, and Kenneth shared again. His first Caucasian lady he's been with, but he's being open minded. All right. And then during these episodes, we saw AD and Clay, and he's like, "Yeah, baby, I'm gonna be with you. This is gonna be forever, baby. It's how they doing their usual thing." And he proposed to her, and they doing AD all day, AG all good. I was like, "Oh, y'all are exhausted with all that. Like, just please." And also Clay likes to do all this baby stuff. Oh, I'm gonna be a baby for you. Because when they finally met in person, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna lay. She got some pillows I can lay on. I like to be a baby. I don't like all that baby stuff. Like, I don't need my man to act like a baby. Like, let the baby be the baby and you be the man. Somebody on Twitter said he got mother issues, and I think so, y'all. But AD and Clay are a couple. And we have Kenneth and Brittany. We already had oh my god, what's the girl's name? Amy and Johnny. Okay, so now we still trying to figure out what Chelsea going to do at this point. She has Trevor and Jimmy has Jessica and Chelsea. Now Chelsea gave Jimmy, because I think it's like the gift giving episode, right? Jessica gave Jimmy a letter that she had wrote some time ago that would be to her future husband, and he read it, and he said he was happy to be the one reading it. And so he said he's just not sure. He's not sure if he could be that person for her. He has a tough decision to make. And she was like, okay, well, like, I don't like to hear this, but like, I'm gonna let you go through the process and let you, make your decision. But she was like, really, like, this sucks because I chose you, but you're not choosing me. So Jessica was not here for it. And you can tell Jessica don't get rejected by the men's. Okay, so she was not here for it. Now, Chelsea, I think she gave Jimmy something, but I don't really remember what it was. She gave Trevor a bracelet that he would have to touch and it would vibrate on his wrist every time she touched it. I think vice versa, because he said he had been touching it a bunch of times. And he also gave her a gift, a rock that represented Love is Blind or something, because he said he moved around a lot. And my thing is like Chelsea, she gave him a really sentimental gift. And I'm like, girl, why you give him that if you wasn't gonna choose him? I didn't like that. And then, Trevor, he's just, professing his love to her, how much he loves her, and she's just still not saying it back. She's like, oh, and she's like, I can't believe, someone actually loves me, and I didn't think I would come here and someone actually love me, and I'm so used to being treated badly by men and men being mean to me, and I was like, oh, girl. So then, Jimmy meets up with Chelsea, and Jimmy said, he had a rough time on his last date, and Chelsea's like, okay, I'm sorry, and I think at this point he told her he loved her. So then back in the pods, one of the girls, I don't know her name, I was asking Jessica, like, what's going on with you and Jimmy? And she's like, I don't know. He has another connection, girl. I'm trying to see what he about to do. And she was like, what is he actually saying to you? And so then Chelsea came in and she told Laura, she whispered to her, like, oh my God, Jimmy said I love you. And so Laura took it upon herself to try to help Jessica, but nobody asked Laura for any kind of help. So Laura ran over there to Jessica, and then she was like, girl, let me just tell you right now, girl. You need to go and lead the process, sis. It ain't gonna happen for you, girl. It's not. It's not. And Jessica's like, girl, what you talking about? Like, what? And so then she's like, girl, I'm telling you, you about to get played. Like, girl, pack up your stuff and go, girl. Just listen to me, girl. Laura was like, listen to me, girl. Just Jessica, girl, no. Mm-mm. And so then she's like, why did you, like, Jessica's like, did you have a conversation with Chelsea over there? Like, girl, what happened? And then she's like, trust me, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to be messy, girl. I'm not trying to say nothing, but I'm just saying that's not your man, girl. Laura was like, I'm not that girl. That's not your man. I'm telling you, you need to pack your stuff and go. I'm telling you, girl. And so I think Jessica was starting to believe her. Now, first of all, I'm like, girl, don't believe Laura, because you need to just get it straight from the horse's mouth, which is Jimmy, okay? But Laura was right. Now, Laura was wrong and right at the same time. Laura was wrong because, girl, we didn't need your advice. We didn't ask you what was happening. But Laura was right because she already knew. She saw the writing on the wall. Okay, shout out Destiny's Child. She saw the writing on the wall. She already knew that Jimmy was gonna go with Chelsea. Okay, she already knew what was up, and she was trying to warn her girl Jessica. Okay, we didn't ask her for no help. So Jessica started crying because I think Jessica was like, I think she right. She right. So um later on we do finally see Jessica go in the pod with Jimmy. And Jimmy said, somebody else gonna, she thinks, well, I forgot how he said, like, he would make a good husband for somebody else, or she would make a good wife for somebody else. Some way he said it. And then she was like, really? Like, I can't believe you. Like, if you already knew this last night, why didn't you say that last night? Why are you dragging it along? I can't make so many excuses for you. Oh, Jimmy doesn't know how to express himself. Oh, Jimmy needs time to process his thoughts and everything. And he's like, no, that's not fair. I didn't already know this last night. And then she was like, no, because you told the other girl that you loved her. So that's how I know you knew. And I feel like he knew too, girl. And so then he was like, no, that's not fair. That's not true. And then she was like, you know what? When you see me, you about to be choking on your breath. You going to need an EpiPen when you see what you missing out with on. I was like, oh. And somebody posted a picture of Jessica's, one of her Instagram pictures on Twitter, and they said he about to be choking her on this picture. And I was like, oh, he really is. Because Jessica looks good. Okay. She's very much giving IG model on Instagram. I don't think she's trying to be, but she's looking good. Like, Jimmy chose wrong road, Jimmy, wrong road. Now, Chelsea, and I don't think we talked about this in the last review. Chelsea had told Jimmy, and this is very important. Chelsea told Jimmy that the celebrity people that think that she looks like the most is Megan Fox because of her light eyes and her dark hair. Now, first of all, her hair is not that dark to me. Isn't Megan Fox's hair black? And Chelsea's hair is giving very much like reddish brown. I don't see Megan Fox when I look at Chelsea. Okay, first of all, I don't know who's telling her that. But they lying to you, girl. I mean, maybe we could see a smidge if I had to give you something, but they lying to you, girl. So she told Jimmy that, right, in the pods. Now, this is from the last three episodes, first three episodes. I'm sorry. So Jimmy was like, Megan Fox, can I just marry you now? Now, I think he didn't have that Megan Fox image stuck in his head. And this is where he went the wrong way. So he ends up proposing to Chelsea. Now, like I said before, they drug these scenes out too long. In episode 4, I was like, get to the honeymoon. Chelsea finna make a bad decision. So Jimmy proposed to Chelsea. Chelsea said yes. I was like, no. Jimmy, you were supposed to go to Jessica. And Chelsea, you're supposed to choose Trevor. That's how it was supposed to go. But y'all messed it up. But it's making good TV. It's making good TV. So Trevor went in there. He was ready to pour his heart out. And she said Chelsea's not ready to give herself fully to Trevor. And Trevor's like, really? And then he's like, I'm confused. He was like, can you explain? He's like, how are you going to choose someone who had another option instead of someone who only chose you from the beginning? That part, Trevor. So she was like, yeah, she really had no explanation. And then he was like, was there anything basically he was like asking a bunch of questions like, is there anything I did or said? And I was like, Trevor, you ain't even got to ask her all that. Like, no. And Trevor, you really dodged a bullet when we see how this lady acting. So then he was like, let me ask you a question. If I would have came in here first and proposed and gave you my whole speech before Jimmy did, would you have chose me? And she was just silent. And I said, yes, she would have. That's exactly what she would have done. She was just going with whoever picked her, okay? She was picking whoever picked her first. And he was like, wow, that says a lot, because she didn't answer. He was like, that don't look good for Jimmy. It don't. It don't. And we see in the previews, everybody gonna get to finally meet each other. And she telling Trevor she still love him. But Trevor cut his hair. He was looking good. Okay, he was looking good. All right, so then we see Chelsea and Jimmy finally meet up. And you could tell Jimmy was like, Jimmy was not feeling it. Jimmy was giving very much what I asked for and what I got. Like, it was not matching. He thought he was getting Megan Fox, but he was not. He was getting Chelsea. Okay, sorry, girl. And the question, he was like, now the looks is not what she was describing. The looks is not looking. You could tell he was like, And she kept asking, like, are you okay? Like, is this what you thought you were getting? Like, do I look the way you thought I was going to look? Are you okay? Are you happy with your decision? Like, she just kept asking him. And I was like, why did she keep asking him that? Like, it was getting annoying right then. And he's like, no, I'm good. And he was talking about how he was going to lead the process with all the Jessica drama and all that. And it looked like it's going to be some drama because she accusing him of having sex with her. And I don't think Jessica would go back and have sex with Jimmy, but we're going to see, y'all. We maybe, just to prove a point, she might. I don't know, but I don't take Jessica as that type of girl. But we're going to see in the next episodes, right? So, Chelsea, okay, she got her man Jimmy. Jimmy don't look like that's what he asked for, but he faking it till he make it. Jimmy's like, he's very happy. Jimmy kept reassuring himself. Oh, also, before Jimmy was gonna meet Chelsea in the pause, he's like, yeah, I'm very happy with Jessica. He's like, oh, did I say Jessica? I mean Chelsea. Freudian slip, as they call it. Yeah, he know he picked the wrong decision. And Jessica was saying, you're not used to having a strong woman. You're not used to someone challenging you. And Jimmy was like, no, I'm not. And he's like, no, but I think I can handle it. No, you can't. No, you can't. But Chelsea finna give you hell. Okay, Chelsea finna give you hell. So poor Trevor. I felt bad for Trevor. I really did. Hopefully he find him a boo thing. A girl, a good woman. He found him a good woman. Okay. And then we did see Jimmy propose to Laura. He let what's her name? Sarah Ann. Is that her name? Or Suzanne? Sarah Ann know that he not picking her, but he felt really bad. Sarah Ann took it like a champ, though. She came back in the room. She told Laura, girl, it's not me. It's going to be you. And Laura's like, dang, I didn't even know. She said, I was going to leave today. I don't know if you lying or not, Laura, but okay, girl. And so Laura, she was like, no, I don't feel bad. Sarah Ann said she's not tripping. Like, girl, good for you. Like, you got your man. Best woman won. So Jimmy and Laura meet up, and Jimmy was happy with what he saw. Laura seemed to like him too. I think Laura said that's not usually her type. I like something about Jimmy's personality. I like I would hang out with him, and he looked good with his glasses off. Okay, so I mean, I'm not into the white boys like that. No offense to my white boys, but some of y'all be cute. But anyway. So yeah, that's everybody. Okay, let's get to the honeymoon. Okay, so we wrap this up. So we get down to the honeymoon. We see everybody packing, get ready to go. We see a big long conversation that was so unnecessary between Jimmy and Chelsea. And they're rehashing how it went when they met up. And Chelsea saying, yeah, you said you had a woman's deodorant and you said this and that. And Jimmy's like, yeah, I had a bum pick with you because you said you weren't going to tell the girls that I said I love you, but then you went back and told it, and then you was in there shouting, and she was like, no, I didn't. I whispered it to Laura, and he was like, oh, because Jessica mentioned it in that last heated conversation we had, and so she was like, no, I did. I told Laura, I whispered it to her. She's like, I didn't know she's gonna run it back over there, and she did to put her own game. And so then Jimmy keeps talking about Jessica and how Jessica was bringing up looks and saying that she was going to choke on his decision. And Chelsea's like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, I don't know why she would say that. And he's like, yeah, I just don't think that, she has the best problem solving skills, that she knows how to handle situations that are difficult and all this stuff. And I was like, first of all, why are you taking all this time to talk about Jessica, who is not even there? Secondly, Jessica handled herself like a champ. You are the one who is the loser here, Jimmy, because you over here, and I don't even want to compare the women, so I ain't gonna go there. But we all have eyes, okay? But both ladies are beautiful, but we all have eyes. Anywho, then, but we're talking about love is blind, so it's the heart that counts, right? Anyway, but yeah, she's like, yeah, but are you happy with your decision? Are you happy you chose me? He's like, yes, I love you. I love you. Now she keeps asking for all this reassurance. I'm exhausted, Chelsea. I'm exhausted. Later on, we see them go to the beach. And she's like, yeah, I'm scared to wear just a swimsuit in front of Jimmy because, I don't know. I'm not that confident in my body. And I don't know. She's just getting very much insecure. And it's funny in the pause, the first time I watched episodes, I was like, oh, okay, like Chelsea getting all the mans, But then she kept saying she's not used to men, being nice to her and all this stuff. And I was like, so the second time I watched it, this when I started picking up on Chelsea's red flags, and then they're really blaring at this honeymoon, y'all. So then they're sitting on talking, they asking each other what's their normal type, and she's like, oh yeah, you looking good, all the girls gonna want my man out here. Girl, we don't want Jimmy. Don't nobody want Jimmy but you and Jessica at one time. So excuse me. So she was like, oh, are you used to dating a girl with tattoos and piercings? And he was like, no, he's never dated a girl with tattoos. And she's like, really? And then she's still asking for reassurance, like, are you happy though? Are you happy with what what you chose? Do you still love me? Do you still feel the same? Like, girl, please stop. Please stop. We all see Brittany and Kenneth arrive. They take some pictures in the mirror. They get some massages that day or the next day. And they're talking about, how they're gonna build their life together. They wasn't really talking about nothing though, y'all. We all see what's his name, Johnny and Amy. They didn't really get much. They were in the pool. They said that they're starting to become one. They were just having a good silly time, making out and all that stuff. We also see Laura and Jimmy. Jimmy is like doing his best job to annoy Laura. Laura said he can't wear no more of those Hawaiian shirts and the glasses. She's like, no, you need to look like an adult, dress like an adult. Then they were in the pool and he was like working on annoying her and doing silly stuff and all that. I like Laura and Jimmy together though. I really do. So then we also see AD and Clay. So they're sitting down, and I don't know if they were like making drinks with smoke in them or something. So they're sitting down talking, and she was saying how she don't really do the drinks with the sugar because she's trying to keep her body on point. I feel you, girl. Okay, I be struggling with that, but I feel you. And so he was like, really? Like, you look good. You look good, though. She was like, it's hard work and discipline, like gym, eating right. I got to do all these things to keep my body together. And he was like, oh, but you in the fitness, you do your cheerleading, like, you good. And she was like, no. And then she was like, yeah, one day, like, I'm gonna get bigger. He's like, well, if you get bigger, I'm gonna tell you, you need to go to the gym. And she was like, what? Like, that's not a good delivery because the way he said it, he's like, you need to go work out. Like, okay, don't do that, sir. And so she was like, what if we have babies? Like, I'm going to get bigger. And he was like, yeah. And then I'm gonna tell you, you need to go to the gym. And she's like, no. And she's like, no, your delivery was wrong. So then he kept trying to figure out better ways to say it. And I'm like, Clay, please don't. Please don't. Like, you can say you want to come work out with me. Like, there's ways to say it without saying it. Now, I've been in that situation, so I know. So, because one of my exes was trying to tell me how I need to work out, okay? And yes, I did, but I didn't like how he was doing it. And I wasn't feeling secure myself at the time, so I really didn't like it. That's a story for another time, y'all. Anywho, so they were talking about that, and she was just saying, like, yeah, work on your delivery. And he was saying, like, yeah, you gotta go cook, you gotta go do this. And so he was just being silly and stuff. And then she was saying how, like, being in the process and made her think about her dad, and how her dad wasn't really there for her. And her dad is not going to be there to walk her down the aisle. And she's like, I'm going to walk by myself. And so he's like, what you mean marrying yourself? And she's like, no, because I don't have my dad. And he was like, yeah, I can relate to you. What you talking about your dad? I'm trying to unpack, like, why, I do the things I do because of my dad and all that. And he's like, I really want to go to therapy. And she's like, yeah, we're going to get you into therapy. He said he wants to do couples therapy with her. And that's good that at least Clay want to do therapy. And so then when she was talking about her dad and how she feels like she had to prove herself in relationships, she always felt like she wasn't good enough. And she's like she was just searching for her father's love. Like, she was just being so vulnerable with him. And he was listening. And then he was saying that, he appreciated her sharing all that. And something she was saying about, like, feeling like she wasn't good enough. And he was like, babe, no, you crazy. Nah, don't say that. You good and that. You good and all that. But the way he said it so abruptly out of the blue, it was like, what? But he was like bigging her up and stuff. And so Clay and AD just was cracking me up because they was in the pool together too. And they were like, oh yeah, baby, you looking good. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, look at you. Okay, I see my baby. Yeah. I was like, y'all killing me. I'm telling you, they are giving me 90s sitcom. Okay, they are giving me a black comedy show right now. They're giving me very much Fresh Prince meets Martin. Like, it was a mess. So anyway, I think that's all the couples, like, before they all met up. So then finally we get to the couple meetup. So they had, like, it looks like they was like having a bar out there for them and food and like a little bonfire on the beach thing. So everybody goes out there. The ladies are all talking. The men are talking. The ladies are talking about who had sex and who didn't. I noticed Amy got to walk from the conversation. She was like, let me go see what Johnny doing. Because I think Amy was trying to spill her tea. Laura was saying something about after she got rid of them Hawaiian shirts and his glasses that she's slipping and sliding all up in that thing. I said, girl, what you got going on? So then, her and AD are talking about, like, girl, what you had going on? Chelsea said Jimmy was, packing. Okay. Brittany was saying how, like, attentive Kenneth is, and he had made sure she had a chair over in that scene, so she had to sit on the sand. And everybody said, oh my God, I feel protected with him. So, Kenneth is a good man. And so all the ladies are talking and all that. The men are talking about the ladies and how they didn't think they would find anybody on this journey, right? So then Jimmy opened his mouth to say he bet he doing the best. Him and his Chelsea are doing the best out of everybody else. And I said, how could you say that? You was lying. Jimmy keep reassuring himself. Okay, you reassure yourself, sir. So then, everybody's mixing and mingling, right? So then Chelsea and Jimmy were off to the side talking. Chelsea's like, what was the boys talking about? And he's on nothing. And so then he was like, AD, yeah, she is stacked. Because everybody was the most excited to see Clay and AD because I think the men knew Clay was a hot mess. So they was like, oh, anybody like end up with him, that's a good woman. So that's who everybody was the most excited to see. And I see why. So he was like, yeah, look at AD, man. She is stacked. She is looking like a bookshelf. She is stacked. So then Chelsea's like, what? And so then he's like, yeah, look at AD. She got it going on. And so then she shouted to AD. Chelsea shouted to AD, like, AD, girl, you got it going on. You look like a bookshelf. How did you get that booty from, girl? And she was like, girl, squats and Jesus. I said, I know that's right, AD. Okay, me too, girl. So anyway, and so Jimmy's like, oh, you embarrassing me. And then she's like, I just said it because he said it, like, so he could say it. So basically, like, to make sure AD didn't feel uncomfortable, And so then AD was like, oh, I take her as a compliment. Like, I'm fine. Yes, girl. Thank you. Okay. And AD looks good. Her body looks fantastic. So then Jimmy goes over there to AD and he's talking to her. They all in each other's face. I'm like, where is Clay? So Chelsea did not like that, and so he's asking her how the process is going. How's it with Clay? She's like, it's hard. Being in the pods is different. Being in person. I didn't like that he told him that though, because when she talked to Kenneth, she said it like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with him. Like which one is it, girl? I don't know. I didn't like that she gave Jimmy that ammo. So, um then they're talking and he's like, oh yeah, Chelsea's great, she's wonderful, this and that. Like he's saying, but yeah, I was just saying, how nice you look and all this. And he was like, yeah, it's a hard time in the process, I was really going through it. Like he's just telling AD all this stuff, and she's taking the time to listen to him. She's like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, we all want to talk to you again. She's like, yeah, we could do this again. And Chelsea is over there telling Amy, like, first she went and got her another drink at the bar. And then she was telling Amy, oh, I just feel so sick. Oh my God. Oh, I feel so sick. I gotta go sit down. So then Amy went with her to sit down. She was like, girl, what was going on? And Chelsea's like, hey, Jimmy's over there. And he's talking to AD and telling her how good she looked. And he's all having a long conversation with her and all in her face and all this. And I was like, oh, here we go. So Chelsea didn't like that Jimmy was all in AD's face, and Jimmy very much was all in AD's face. Look at the thumbnail. Okay, he was all in AD's face, y'all. So I was like, where is Clay? Come get your woman. Okay. Get her away from this white man. So anyway, like I said, everybody's like having a good time. They are mixing and mingling. I think at one time Jimmy came over to talk to, it was Brittany and Laura and Amy and Chelsea. And so then he's like, oh, how was it for y'all to pause? And he's like, oh yeah, Laura, you were my first date. And he's asking them like, how hard was it to make a decision? And he's like, dang, but I was in none of y'all's tops. So all right. So then side note, when Jimmy and Chelsea were talking at the beginning of the honeymoon, and she said, well, you're going to end up having to see Jessica. And he's like, yeah, I know. Like, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it. Oh, you looking forward to it. Trust me. So anyway, back to the honeymoon, to the bonfire. And so, like I said, Jimmy was talking to the ladies and all that, and then I think he ended up getting up and leaving. Brittany and Kenneth are talking, and they're like, "Oh, I love you, baby," and Brittany's like, "Oh, I just appreciate you so much. Oh my gosh, yes." So then we do see Kenneth goes up to Clay and AD, and they're like, "Oh, black love, black love." So we finally got our black huddle. Okay, okay. I have them at work occasionally. Okay, when it's only like 5 or 6 spots of y'all in there, you gotta have your huddle time. Okay, reconvene as a family. Okay, before you get back out there. Okay, like I said, those who know. So he was like, yeah, I love to see it, the black love, what's up. And so Clay walked away. And at first I was like, why did Clay walk away from the conversation with AD and Kenneth? But I'm figuring because AD and Kenneth already have a friendship. Because Kenneth is like, that's my guy. And Clay and Kenneth already have friendship. And AD is just now meeting Kenneth. I'm assuming that's why Clay walked away. So Kenneth was saying, AD, that's my guy. That's my guy. He's like, I told him, AD, that's a boss right there. That's a queen right there. She was like, yes, And then she was like, okay, so, what's up with that? She's talking about Brittany. He's like, I know she my person, right? She my person. And she was like, so have you dated, white girls before? Do you always date black girls, white girls? He said he always dated black girls. Like, we already know. He says it's gonna be first time dating a white girl. He's like, but she really is the truth. And she's asking him like, she gonna have to raise black children. Like, are you confident she could do that? And he said, yes, he is confident about that. He said, he was gonna stay true to his roots. He's very pro-black. But him and Brittany have a good connection, so he's not worried about all that. And he said he knows they're gonna face challenges once they go back home and get off the honeymoon. I'm wondering how comfortable is he going to be dating a white woman. That's what I'm anxious to see on the previews. I'm not sure about it. But yeah. So anyway, then we see, I think AD go sit and talk to the fellas. It was Jimmy. I don't know why I want to call Jimmy Mitch sometimes too. Anyway, it was Jimmy and Jeremy. Jeremy, like he could be like a Matt or somebody too. So Jimmy, let me stop messing with names. Jimmy, Jeremy, and Clay were all sitting down, and AD came over there, and she was like, "Oh, I was missing my man," and she sat on his lap. And so then they were all talking, and so then Jeremy was saying he didn't think he would find love there, and then he found that person talking about Laura, and then he, talking about how cool Laura was, and AD was like, "Yes, Laura's amazing," and then he was like, "Oh yeah," and Laura told me to tell you, what was it, bean pie? No, that's not what they called it. Bean dip. That's what they called it. Bean dip, not bean pie. Bean dip. And so she was like, "Oh my gosh, you said bean dip," and she grabbed her chest. And so then Jeremy's like, "Laura, didn't you tell me to say it?" And so and then AD was like, "Laura, you told him bean dip?" And then they're like, "What is bean dip?" Now I'm like, "What the hell is bean dip?" So bean dip, I guess, is when you swat someone on their boob. I guess that's something Laura made up. And AD was like, "You made that up, first of all." She was like, "No, I didn't." And Clay said that. And Clay's like, "I've never heard that before. And I have not either." And so Jeremy's like, "Yeah, Laura told me to do that to you." And he's like, "I'm not going to do it." And Clay was like, "Yeah, Jeremy, do not do that." He's like, "Do not touch my lady, okay?" And so then AD's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you told her to do that." So then Laura came over there, and she was like, "Jimmy, what you over here doing? Starting mess?" I mean, not Jimmy. Jeremy, what you over here doing? Starting some mess? Like, you about to be in trouble. And I'm like, "Girl, you the one started it." And so you kind of set Jeremy up for the fall. And so then Jeremy apologized to Clay about it, and the girls went off separately. And then Laura tried to downplay it, which I didn't like, because what if, Clay and AD really were offended by it? Like, for real, for real. I don't think they meant offense, but what if? So then Laura's like, "Oh, it's just a stupid joke. It got out of hand. It didn't mean anything." And so AD is like, "No, it's not nothing to you. It's something to it could be something to me. It could be something to Clay, because he doesn't know. And he wouldn't want that to happen to his wife." And so Laura kept downplaying. AD kept like kind of checking her, like, "Girl, no, it's not a big deal to you. It's a big deal to my man." And so Jeremy was like, "I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to do nothing." And Clay said, "No, you're good. I'm not taking no offense by it." Now, Clay wasn't that mad. I think he got over it once he talked out with Jeremy, but I get what AD was saying too. Like, you can't be downplaying stuff like that because you don't know how we felt. So anyway, yeah, Laura, you better watch yourself, girl. So then, like, everybody's still mixing and mingling. We see Johnny and Amy kissing, making out, and all that stuff. And so Chelsea is feeling like Jimmy is just, ignoring her, not really saying much to her. And then Laura and Jeremy sat down, and Laura's like, "You about to be in trouble, when we get back to the room. Like, what did you do? What did you say?" And so Jeremy got upset, and he had already got upset when he was talking to Clay, and then he even got more upset. He's like, "I'm going home. I want to go home." He didn't want to be there. Jeremy didn't have his glasses on. So then she's like, "You going back to the hotel, or what you mean home?" And so he's like, "I'm leaving." So he left, but she did not go after him. And Chelsea was like, "Oh my gosh, like, girl, where are you going?" So then I think that was pretty much it with that little bonfire scene, right? So then so Jeremy left, he was over it. Then we see Chelsea and Jimmy. They go back to their hotel room, right? And so Chelsea was like asking Jimmy, like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Is everything okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good. Are you okay?" And so she well, first of all, she was all up in his face at the bonfire, like, you good? You still feel like you made a good choice? You love me? She's doing all that stuff again. So then in the room, like, she keep asking him, "Is he okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. Like, you okay?" She's like, "I just didn't like how, you made that comment about AD, and then you went to have a long conversation with her and left me over there, and you spun her around." Now, we didn't really see him spin her around. Now, I did see him grab her hand or something, so I don't know if they edited it out, but I didn't see the spin around. Y'all let me know if y'all saw it in the comments. So she was like, "Yeah, you spun her around and you were all in her face a heck of long. And how do you think that makes me feel?" And he's like, "I don't like AD like that. Like, I'm trying to tell you, I don't have nothing going on with AD. Like, I don't like her like that. I was just, Clay is my guy. I was just chopping it up with her. Like, that's it." And so then he kept trying to having to defend himself. And then she was like, "And all night you weren't really with me. You weren't telling me you love me. All the other couples were all over each other. You weren't like that with me." He's like, "I came to find you, to talk to you and Laura and and Amy and all them, and she was like, okay, but that was it. Like, you didn't really, come and talk to me, touch on me, show me you love me. I felt really disconnected from you, and I just didn't like how that felt. And he's like, no, I'm sorry. Like, keep telling you, like, I love you, like, you good, I love you. She's like, you didn't say I love you. He's like, I will tell you I love you every day. And then he was trying to like speed past it and make up. And I was ready for him to speed past it too. And he was like trying to kiss her and say, I love you. And then she was like, no, but you hurt me. You made me feel uncomfy. And you just need to sit in that. That's what you did. And so then she sat down and he's like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I love you. She's like, are you sure you want to be here? Are you sure you want to be here? He's like, yes, I want to be here. And they just kind of ended on that sour note. And that was the end of the episode, y'all. Chelsea, girl, you could have chose Trevor if you was gonna do all this. Really, you need to get some counseling and be single because it's giving too much. It's giving way too much, girl. You're a headache. And Jimmy, that's what you get. That's what you get, okay? That ain't Megan Fox. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not Megan Fox. Anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all thought of these episodes. Don't forget to watch the review for the first 3 episodes. Enjoy this review, and I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.